All right, a bit of a warning beforehand. This was the last week my grandfather was here, so a lot of this has been rushed. So this may be a little bit rough, but we'll see. So just bear with me through a few things, as I didn't have a lot of time this week.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's all right. It happens.
You
Also, recording has started, and those of you who are tuning into us on YouTube, welcome. I'm gonna behave this time.
Right.
I haven't said nothing yet.
Okay, I think I'm fairly ready. All right, here we go. Star Wars Legends of the Force, Episode 1, Chapter 4, City of the Dead. After finding the ancient gate in the Grey Forest of Thanai, the heroes encountered the trouble they had been seeking, the spirits of Thanai. Realizing that these spirits were the cause of much of the Force disturbances, the heroes believed they had found the source, yet it would seem this was only the beginning. The real threat seems to be someone the spirits called the Dark One, living in their city, desecrating their cherished grave. Now, with a promise to leave the spirits be, our heroes are being led by the spirits to purge the evil from within the city's center.
as we go, I kind of want to ask the spirits if they're, just in case they're maybe still listening as they lead us. If they have any living servants.
Okay? As you walk along, you walk for about an hour through the city. As you try and speak to them, there seems to be no reply. It seems to remain silent. The only notice that you have that they're still even there is the bright point of light, fistball sides of light, that is leading you forward through its city.
So, what's the plan when we get there?
So if I tried to put into their head servants with the inflection of sort of questioning or curiosity, is there any response, or will I have to roll to see are they unwilling to listen to any telepathic stuff?
No, you don't have to roll. You try and reach out, but as you do, you you can't really find anything to reach out to. I mean, there's a force presence there, definitely, but it's not sentient or anything with a sort of mind that you could peer into. It's almost like a pointed energy of force nexus, sort of just sort of a point of force energy. You can't really seem to find sort of a way to communicate with them through the force. But as you follow them through, like I said, you've been walking for about an hour, and they've weaved you in and out through their city. For the most part, it's kind of awe-inspiring just how ruined this city truly is. There are semblances of massive buildings and ornate architecture that may have once have been very beautiful is now just covered in vines and trees and moss. There are, from what you can tell, this was likely an advanced civilization. There are things that resemble speeder-like vehicles, and there are things that sort of look like they might have been consoles at one point. As I said, the architecture is far and away above any sort of primitive civilization. Some of the structures are as high as some of the skyscrapers in Coruscant, and others are small but sturdy, and their walls seem to be still up. The biggest thing that points out to you all as you walk through is the silence. Other than your own footsteps and the ghosts, the spirit's sort of essence, there's no birds, no bug sounds, nothing of a kind. And look around, there's just no tracks other than the ones you've made. There's it's as though there's nothing that has been trekking in any part of the ground you walk on for a very, very long time.
Well, as we're going, I want to be reaching out in the forest, trying to get a read on. That way, we don't just walk straight into this person. So, can I make a roll?
Sure.
That reminds me, I need to pull up the book.
And that's a net 20.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Papas, you reach out and you're having difficulty finding anything beyond that force point. It seems to be pretty strong, and sort of mitigates anything around it. However, Kyrath, you being more in tune with life and your perspective on the force, you actively are searching out for something with life to it, something beyond this sort of emptiness that is around you. As you walk forward, you do feel something, but it's not the sort of life that you would like to find. You find a sort of, where most of this area is rather empty, and by that I mean the sort of the feeling of it is sort of neutral. It's not necessarily dark, nor is it necessarily light. But towards, and as you come up to it, up to this large 30-foot tall building, you can feel a point of darkness emanating from within it. Very, it is not it is different from the rest. It's in the same way that Kalani's light side, from being a Jedi, sticks out in this place. This point of energy from the dark opposite side sticks out in its own way.
Yeah, I was gonna try to use dark side sense, but I guess it's metagaming that I know that he did that well.
Well, I imagine he would tell us. Would you?
I can sense some sort of dark, evil presence in this building here. I guess you guys might call it an agent of the dark side. I would call it an agent of discord. But it is quite a stark contrast from the surrounding energies.
Picaz looks at you, somewhat confused, but doesn't say anything.
Can you not feel that presence, Picaz?
Zariana, now that he's pointed something out, can I sort of feel something?
I would say you and Kalani both, now knowing kind of what you look for, you can feel the very edge of a darkness. Again, the void kind of the void and the very close proximity to the spirits makes it difficult, but there's like you can call it sort of an aftertaste or just a sort of vague essence of something dark within.
No, I can feel something.
Right. As you look up to the building, it's square, almost boxed shape. But any sort of markings or details that might sort of disclose what this building is have long since passed. It is clearly overgrown. It looks as though no one's been here in a very long time. But as you stand there, kind of puzzling over everything, you hear the same ghostly voice from behind you enter.
I quickly turn around and ask about servants.
As soon as you turn, that small point of light fades and is gone.
An angry musical sound echoes through the town, through the city.
You hear a slight as something mumbles behind you, and you all quickly turn, and you see the door, which you didn't notice was a door before, begins to rise and opens up into this building. What do you do?
Well, one thing I'd like to do is, yes, if the Force user tries to detect anyone in any other Force users, I'd like you to let me know so I can try and counter that.
Okay.
Because I would be actively, on guard, trying to hide myself.
And speaking of on guard,
Well, the faster we do this, the faster we get out of this deserted city.
what was that?
The faster we get this done, the faster we can get out of here. It's not natural.
Maybe they can be reasoned with.
Well, I didn't say kill them, I said go in there.
Yes. But if we all go in at once, that is kind of threatening.
It could be considered that way, lad, but We've got a directive from fancy force spirit, so yeah,
I'm
we
not
might want to
saying that
consider
if
that.
they refuse that we won't use force. I'm just saying that we should talk first and not be terribly threatening when we first go in.
It's a
I agree with
Darksider.
Ryan.
It's a Darksider. It's not going to listen to that sort of reason.
Pakaz looks at you, not quite understanding. I will volunteer to go ahead if no one else will.
I don't think that we should split up. I think we should all stick together.
Well, you guys can stay behind and wait. Not far away. I'm confident I can get away.
No.
Alright, let's take up a nice little military stance. Let's go in here, expect resistance, but we'll be peaceful about it, alright?
Okay, really quickly, I'd like to... Let me message you real quick.
Alright. Eagle, what were you trying to perceive?
Just looking around into the thing on alert.
Okay.
Can I make a knowledge tactics check to see if what's splitting up or not splitting up is a better idea here?
Sure. Kalani, you look about. It's difficult to really see anything. I mean, the whole area just sort of seems empty and lifeless. You look about and you look for signs of life or some sort of idea as to what sort of is going on around here. You see nothing. You see no traces of a person would leave behind, no sort of traps or markings or even footsteps. It's as though from the moment this place was emptied, nothing has treaded through here. Everything has just sort of grown over all of it, and nothing has been disturbed.
Mhm. Yeah, something definitely doesn't feel right. It's too empty. It's too undisturbed. Considering there's supposed to be this dark one. There's no trace of anything.
Well, the spirits did say they didn't want their ruins destroyed. They didn't want records to disappear of them, so maybe they keep animals away.
No, but even the dark one, there's no trace. I mean, we can see our tracks.
That is strange. Look over there.
What? What are you doing? What is Pakaz doing?
I need you all to
Oh no.
make two. Okay. First, everyone make a perception check.
It's a miracle
Did I
I see
describe
past
it?
my hair.
All right, everyone who rolled above a 23, you watch as Pakaz says, "Look over there," and you glance for a second and look back at him. Just not even long enough to really take your eye off of him. Some of you may even keep your eye on him, just sort of confused to his words. Everyone who rolled below, you look over there. So, let me see. Kalani and Shilu, I need you to make another perception check.
I think the moment that if I notice them following me and that it didn't work, that I give up.
Shialu, you watch as then Pakaz crouches down and tries to get away. You just keep your eye. You just have to keep this sort of frowned, it's sort of strange on a Selkath, but if there's any way to interpret it, some sort of frown and a cocked head as you kind of watch him scutter away, but you still see him. You're not really sure what he's doing. Eagle, you kind of watch him run off into the shadows a little bit, and your vision's kind of obscured, but you know where he's gone.
Pakaz, come back here. Don't go running off like that.
Yeah, we don't want to split up the party.
He makes that little click. Well, no, he wouldn't be able to do that, as considering his mouths. So you hear an annoyed whistle, and then he turns around and walks back to the party.
If you have an idea of how to proceed, maybe you can just tell all of us, and we can work together.
I already did so.
All right.
Instead of sending one person into the room, we go all in together. Me and Alon stay back while someone goes out to meet this person. If they prove hostile, we can provide cover as you back up.
That's what I suggested.
No, you were going to run off on your own, which is rather different.
No, that's after you turned down my idea.
You made it sound like you wanted us to stay behind the door and out of sight.
Well, yes, but in the other room, or right next to me.
Stay at the edge of the room. That way I know if there's trouble.
Yeah, about now I think you guys are all kind of stepping in towards that door. Oops. Hold on, I clicked the wrong button.
And if we're going in, I'll get out my glow rod too. I wonder if I can hold it in my tail.
Well, I mean, based on the description, yes, you can.
Yeah,
I
your
remember
tail is like
reading
another appendage, right?
Yep, can't wield a weapon, but I think a glow rod
It can
is,
hold
stuff. That's
basic
fine.
enough.
Well, I'm going to roll perception, if you don't mind.
Yep, go ahead. You guys can all roll perception.
Nope.
Yeah, no. I'm too spooked out anyways.
A couple of you look about. You can see a sort of long hallway with sort of doors on the left and the right of you. One of them looks smashed in, caved in. the ceiling has crumpled to the floor, and there looks unentry. But the other one looks like it's held up fairly well. Again, any sort of markings on the wall has sort of been kind of roughed out, although not to the same degree, as this place is not exposed to the elements. There are faint symbols of symbols scattered about the wall. The ground is covered in a thick layer of dust. It almost looks like sand below. If you took your foot and started scraping at it, it would be a little while before you'd actually see floor. Quiet though. You hear echoes of your own breath, echoing through the halls, bouncing off the walls. Nothing seems dangerous though.
As Padawan Starfire noted, there don't seem to be any disturbances in this dust on the ground, so this Dark One must have come in by another way.
Well, that is possible. Well, let's see if we can't proceed forward then. No other way to take care of a situation than to go forward.
So where did you say the point of darkness was?
In the building, somewhere.
Like, where in the building, or do I have to roll for that?
It's still sort of there, kind of like a tinge, like a tingle in the back of your neck. But as far as pinpointing it, you're having trouble.
I think Shayali is the only one who could get that information, considering the natural 20.
More than likely.
I have dark side sense, and I never actually got around to rolling.
Well, if you'd like to try and use it, you may.
User in your channel timed out.
And yeah, dark side sense. Try again. There.
User entered your channel.
You reach out.
Dark side sense lets me roll.
Oh, it does?
Re-roll.
Roll twice? Okay.
Though I have to take the second result. And it's only for...
Well.
Having push to talk as X makes things interesting. Yeah. Where was I? Yeah, it's only for use the force when sensing the dark side presence, or yeah.
It's better.
Whoopsie. That didn't help much.
You reach out, but your feelings are a bit mixed and you can't quite focus. You still feel that tinge of darkness in the back of your neck, but this place is a little unsettling and you can't, even with knowing there's a dark presence here, you get the feeling you'd be creeped out by this place even if you didn't know it was there, and you're having trouble focusing in this area.
I don't like this.
So when I sensed it before, it seemed like it was coming from, like, deepish in the center of the building.
It was like a very, very select point in the sort of center area of the building.
I suggest we carefully start heading towards the center of the building, because that's where I believe the force presence is localized.
Well, you seem to be able to find it. Let's follow you. Besides, I like Ajax's plan here. Y'all go forward, and Ajax and I will cover retreats and whatnot, and we'll guard our backs.
Yeah, it's not too far behind.
Of course not.
Before you guys do anything, at this point, Zared pipes in and he says, I think I'm going to stay here and guard the entrance. I don't think it's smart to just completely leave this behind. I'm going to stay at the base of these stairs. You go on ahead. If you need me, just call out and I'll come.
Oh, as a side note, I gave him a comlink last time while everyone was at the shop in the chat, and it's linked to my helmet.
Alright, good to know. You can remind him of that if you'd like.
Yep, if we need you, I'll let you know on the comlink.
And he nods and makes his way down the stairs.
And let us know if there's any trouble over here. I still don't like this. Well, out of character, that makes things a bit easier.
Yep.
It also does make sense in character that we wouldn't want to leave our back completely undefended.
Yep.
Or if the door started closing or something.
Well, GM-wise, it's probably the best decision. Keeps Zenariana from having to do extra work.
Yep.
And if it's a total party wipe, he survives, so Red can't get mad.
There's that as well.
Yep.
GM, always thinking.
Confirmed. Jam wants to kill us.
Just maybe
Don't
not
they
the new
all?
guy.
Of course not. You've got to have somebody who tells the next set, so to say, of adventurers where we're going.
He's not even level 2 yet. Well, I think we all move forward.
You guys should have
Cautiously.
to control your tokens.
And I'd probably bring out
User in your channel
one
timed out.
glow sticks as well.
Alright, be sure you guys make mark off that you're using those glow sticks.
Uh-oh. Krylar?
Wait, how do you mark that?
Yeah, he drops out now and again. I have a question about the glow sticks though. Are they they're not reusable sort of things?
If I remember, they'll last you through this unless something happened. They last several hours. They're not like
I think it's more like a flashlight.
right. It's like they're think of them as sort of like a glow stick that's an efficient flashlight, but it's still a glow stick, and so it'll last. But once you activate it, it's kind of activated.
No turning
That's
it off
weird.
and on.
Says a glow
I
rod is a
don't think
portable
so.
illumination device that projects a beam of light up to 6 squares. It really doesn't say any much else, as far as I can see.
Didn't Yoda play with one of those and like blink it?
No, that's something else. But Luke does have one. Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could. I suppose you could have. I haven't looked into it, so I guess you could say those are reasonable.
I mean, I have a
look
fusion
like,
lantern anyways, so
They look like a
Yeah,
stick.
and don't. Where's that section on them? Because I think they use like one of the little battery thingies.
And they're on page 136. It doesn't say anything about using an energy cell.
No.
Okay, I'm looking up Wikipedia. It says a glow rod, also known as a glow lamp or a light stick, was a type of mechanical device that produced light. So it's mechanical. So I would say it's reusable. Yeah, it's like a flashlight that looks like a 3-foot stick that you can hold, and it emits light around you.
projects it in a beam up to 6 squares. So the fusion lantern does it in a radius of 6 squares.
Yeah, lantern versus flashlight.
So I'll bring out the lantern, or my lantern, anyways, and use that.
All right.
Well, I guess if Alond pushed me towards the front, or so to say, said that I had to lead the way, I will start walking forwards, and also I guess I'll roll use the force to sort of try to guide us in the right direction.
It's not so much as he's pushing you in the way, it's more like he's inviting you to take the lead because you know where you're going.
Yeah.
This whole force stuff is not his
You're the
cup of
guide.
tea.
And I'm kind of suspicious of more cats, so I'm probably going to be looking in the forest to see if I can find any on the way.
User joined your channel.
Welcome back.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I'm going to be keeping an eye on Kalani.
No, not that cat.
Okay.
If for some reason I'm getting barely any signal in my room, I'm gonna try and restart the router and stuff. So I'm probably gonna pop out again real quick here.
Okay, if Ajax dies, I'm looting your corpse.
I cut out
No, you're
before
not.
we even started moving or anything, so I have no idea what's going on.
That's alright. We're still trying to figure out who's going to go forward. I think I've been trying to invite the Force users to go forward since they know where they're going, and that and I liked Ajax's plan anyways, and of us covering the rear anyways, because like I'm going to be able to find my way to a Force user. I can't even hardly see past the hair on my head.
So put the squishies out first.
If you're gonna be going first, I'm gonna be sticking by your side in a guarded battle stance. Have my lightsaber in my hand, but not ignited yet.
I mean, I'll be right behind both of you because I got the lantern.
Someone's gotta go, guys.
Is this
Which
thing
way
in
are
front
we
of us,
going?
is that a pathway that's in front of us?
User in
Yes.
your channel timed
There's a
out.
pathway that looks like a closed door in front, and then there's another door that's completely disheveled behind you.
Wait, so the doorway is to the left of the screen? There's nothing on the bottom of the screen? And then there's a collapsed door on the right side of the screen.
That's wall.
Okay, so
That's a door.
I think.
Oh, okay.
So wait, there's a door on the left.
That's another door, but it's destroyed.
You're right, okay.
So there's basically just the one way forward at this point.
That seems to be the indication.
Do I detect any other life in the building? Cat-like life aside from Kalani.
You've made several use of force checks, and you haven't really felt anything. As you start walking towards that door, you hear that slow, muffled sound that you heard before on the last door, and the one in front of you begins to slowly rise. And when it looks out, you see just blackness.
Okay, well, I don't really think there's any danger, so I just keep going forward.
Okay, go ahead and walk.
I guess I'll walk up to the door and then look through and see
How many
what I can
squares does
see.
your lantern reveal?
6. In all directions. I think there's a way to make an aura. Let me see if I can. Not sure if I know how to apply an aura. Oh, here we go.
Um.
Okay. As you creep up towards the door, you can see some kind of green glowing on the floor below.
Yeah, that doesn't look ominous at all.
User
I assume
joined
we're
your
using
channel.
5 feet squares.
Yes.
Okay. 1 second. Let me change the aura.
What did I miss?
We
We
walked towards the left door and we found some green glowing stuff on the ground.
There we go. That's the radius
Oh, wow.
of my lantern.
Yeah, darkness is no problem for you guys. As long as that lantern is around.
I mean, obviously it's a bit restricted through the doorway, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is there even a point to having my glow rod?
Probably not anymore.
So yeah, once he took that out, it probably put it away again.
Shayalu, are you looking in the door?
Yeah.
You look now with the light lighting up the room a little bit. You see sort of a viscous green liquid with little air bubbles popping at the surface. Kind of makes a low kind of uh, soupy, like a boiling soup sound. And it sort of moves, but it very, very slightly. It completely covers the ground up to a certain point inside the room. At least as far as you can see. There is also to the left, to your left, a sort of ledge that sort of seems to go over the liquid.
Oh joy, you're giving us a thin bridge to balance over a pool of acid, aren't you?
well, being of the inquisitive nature, my guy probably uses the what's it called? The basic ability of use of force to move light object and try and pick up some of the liquid. I don't know if I need to roll for that, actually. Let me look.
I wouldn't think so. This is pretty simple.
Yeah.
Right, so you just want to like pick up the liquid?
Just a small globule of it. And see
Like a fist size?
Yeah, like a baseball this size, somewhere around there. And you like see if I can find. Is there like any organic matter on the floor somewhere? Like maybe an old desiccated stick.
I mean, there's like moss and stuff growing in between the cracks in the floor.
Okay, I move it onto I smear some of it on some moss.
Okay. You pull up the liquid, and it kind of has like a honey sort of consistency as it pulls up, and eventually the molecules separate, and the little glob just sort of pulse at the center in the air. You bring it over to kind of close to you so you can see really about like 2 squares in front of you. You bring it down and you just let it drop on a rather large patch of moss. As it drops, you hear a sound, and you see that the plants that the acid seems to sort of disappear into the plants, but as soon as the moss is revealed again, it's black and dried up, and then it just sort of seems to dissolve.
Yep, that's not good.
Okay, I'm gonna go into the room onto the edge. And what do I see of the whole of the radius? My main question is there a stone wall around the edges?
Harry.
There are walls. It's sort of a circular shaped room, sort of like a bowl. And there is sort of there are walls, but the pool seems to be kind of imagine the room is sort of like a soup bowl, and this liquid sort of seems to be the soup, and it's just sort of covering the whole sort of ground area. But there is like poking out from one side of the wall, there is sort of a crooked edge of a ledge, and it seems to go over the liquid, and you can't quite see where it ends with this radius. You can see it kind of goes a little further.
Wait, so was there another door that I missed because of my internet problems? Or is this the only door?
This seems to be the only door. What was south of us is a wall. What was right now
what was south
behind
of us
us
is a
to
wall?
to
I
the
didn't know.
right of the screen is a broken down door, disheveled and whatnot. Probably,
Cave-in, sort
yeah, probably not passable. This is probably the only passageway available to us, maybe.
Picaz talks to himself out loud, pondering maybe I could move the stones in the other door out of the way.
Well, is there a pathway from the ledge over there to where we need to go, or?
Yeah, what does that look like? That's this thing over here, right?
You can come look at it if you want.
What was
Like,
that?
do I see how far the 6 squares south of me go? Does it run off into nothing?
You see shadows of things. It's still kind of out of your range. It's still a little dark. You can. What exactly are you trying to look at?
Well, I just want to see if the ledge goes further than what's revealed, because it's not revealed up to 6 squares south of me.
Is this actually a ledge, or is this just a doorway?
Well,
Which
what
part?
I'm on is a ledge.
That bar that you're standing on, Kalani, that's the door. That represents the door.
Okay. So what's over, like, up there and
That's the wall.
down there?
I believe there's a way to clear away the stuff as the DM with some sort of drag and draw circular thing that will wipe out everything within the circle. I don't know how to do it though. Or square, or whatever geometric shape you use.
Yeah, I think the reveal can use other shapes.
So you can just do huge swaths at once.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that though.
I'll mess around with Roll20 sometime this next week and try and figure some of the stuff out so I can tell you.
Yeah, I mean that would be nice. I don't know how to do it any other way except the square drawing thing. I tried to use dynamic lighting, but it just wasn't working, so I just switched to this.
Well, it looks like we might have to try to find a different route into the building. This is
Okay.
not up here safe.
So I'm gonna go south until I see the wall, or until I see a southern edge.
Okay.
And immediately stop at that point. Do I see anything from there?
You can see that there's this this sort of
Rubble?
rubble, and it does sort of seem to end on another sort of platform similar to the one you're standing on, and also another closed door.
Okay, can I try and use move object to, like move as much of it as I can into the pool?
You can. What this rubble is just a caved in sort of wall, but I mean you can certainly try and move stuff. It'll probably take you a while to clear anything.
Well, as far as I know, we aren't really hurting for time.
No.
What do you guys think? Should I take some time to clear this rubble?
Don't want to bring the building down on top of us.
Yeah, I don't know that that's a good idea.
True.
How, but, okay, this ledge, is it just this thin thing sticking out, or is it attached to a wall, or what?
It's not like it's like just resting on the two section. Like it looks like it might have been a part of the floor. Like it's a part of the thing. It's about 3 foot wide, but it's just a 3 foot wide crooked sort of ridge, if you want to call it, to the other side.
Okay, now.
So the middle and everything is just free floating. Just the only part that it touches anything is the two ends.
Yep.
Is there a wall to walk along above the rubble?
Can you climb over and around the rubble to get that way instead?
You could make climb or a perception check.
Well, I rolled perception to look around at all this stuff to see a way, I guess. See a way through.
Would perception be to see if there's a stable surface? Like if
Yes.
the wall were the was what gravity was pulling down on? Like if I used inertia.
Perception would be sort of to see just how stable, if there's other options. I don't think a climb check in this situation, I would say you could use to see if the rubble is climbable, if it'll hold your weight, or if there's a path.
Oh, then I'll try that. Can't hurt.
All right, you look at the wall, and it looks sort of like a dust hill, kind of coming in and then stopping short of the acid. There are several pieces of wall and rock and probably whatever else this room was used for mixed in, pretty still. But it looks everything looks like it has its place, and you're not certain how stable it would be, since all of this looks like it has not been disturbed in a long time. It's all just sort of set there. Like you notice, you look down towards where the acid is, and there's a sort of stopping point between the acid and the rubble. Even as you've walked in, there's been no light breeze or rustle that's knocked things into the acid. Everything's just very still, except for the little bubbles that are the air pockets that are bubbling out from the surface.
Okay, then. I know what I'm going to do. Everyone turn around for a minute.
What?
Turn around.
Why?
I immediately shut off my fusion lantern and then do this.
What are you doing?
I'm there now. And I turn my lantern back on.
What? Yeah. How did you...
Okay. All right. Give me a second.
Also, some of you are in darkness now. You should probably get a torch out. Or a fusion lantern.
Also, like an area of low light around the regular light, because my helmet removes low light penalties.
Oh, great. Our little one decided to disappear on us.
Well, no, you guys can see me. There's light coming from me. I have a lantern in my hand.
Yep, but you've
How did you
basically
get over there?
abandoned us, so to say.
And how are we supposed to get over there?
Okay. So, podcast, as you shift from view and then reappear on the other side, you have to catch yourself, because as you stand on the ledge to the door, you realize that it's only about it's only about 3 feet wide, and your back is literally against the door. As you immediately appear, though, the door, there's a small muffle, and the door begins to rise, and you have to be even more careful as it begins to rise, and you're having to decide whether to keep your back against it or to lean forward. I need you to make an endurance check.
Yeah, that's gonna go bad. Oh, not that bad.
All right. With the shaking legs, you reach your hands out and manage to keep yourself aloft long enough for the door to finally raise to above your height, where you can kind of step back into the door frame and you have more space. Looking down the door, see another hall similar to the one before. Looking forward, you see that the acid pool is pretty similar to the platform. It comes to a certain point and then stops. You can see Kalani still in the distance, in the light, but and Ajax's helmet, but the others are a little bit different, a little bit more difficult to see.
Okay. Now I yell out, "Don't struggle," and then I do this. I hope it works.
What are you doing?
Okay, yes, it works. I bring Kalani over here if she doesn't struggle.
Kalani, do you resist?
Does
You're
curling
being
into a ball and mewing count?
Without your knowledge, your feet leave the ground and you begin lifting over the acid pool, floating above it. What do you do?
Now I'm trying to bring her along across the stick thing, just in case I mess up, but I'm fairly confident.
We're about there right now. What are you doing?
What is who doing?
You're hanging above acid.
Freaking out a bit, and trying to curl into a ball and just trying to not freak out, but freaking out.
I'm probably going to like set her down inside of this room, like right here or something.
Right, then if she doesn't try to resist, you take about a minute and you slowly manage to bring her over and land her just beyond the door frame.
Now, time to look up how long it takes me to get powers back.
All right, as for the rest of you, you've seen Pakaz disappear and then reappear on the other side, and then Kalani just flew over the acid pit.
And you heard me
Mewing
say, "Don't
and-
struggle" out loud.
And I was mewing and curling into a ball.
All right, Las. Eland will yell across the little bit of a chasm we have here.
It seems so.
Give me a minute and I can get the next person. So I like rest for a minute to recharge my power.
All right, so his actions are going to take a full minute. What are the rest of you going to do?
You could have given me a better warning than that.
You might have a point.
How high is the ceiling?
Cheater.
Hey, just because I have a jetpack doesn't make me a cheater.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything.
You can probably see about 12 feet above you before it just ends in darkness.
I want to
So
step out of the door frame.
I'm hoping the acid is not flammable.
Yeah, that's what he's trying. That's what Ajax trying to decide at the moment.
Also, the other two of you should get a fusion lamp out or something if you have one.
I still have my glow rod.
Yeah,
Well,
I think I'm gonna not risk lighting it on fire, but I'm gonna keep my hand ready to activate my jetpack if anything goes south and I start falling into the acid. But I'm gonna start walking along the edge here on this thing, testing it to see if it's stable.
If you got a utility belt, I'm pretty sure it comes with a fusion thing. Oh, never mind. I had to buy that separately.
Are you testing out the platform?
Yeah, I'm gonna test it out and I have my hand ready to activate my jetpack if it starts slipping.
Yeah, I was about to do that when I got lifted up into the air.
Put your foot out. Stomp on it a little bit. Kind of try and get some good ground. Seems pretty solid.
Alright, I'm gonna start walking across it with my hand at the ready to activate my jetpack in case something falls loose.
Okay. This is difficult terrain, so your movement is halved.
Are we counting diagonals as 2? Because the whole thing's going diagonal.
That's what the rules say.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we're gonna...
Mhm.
Okay, so then I only have a speed of 4, so that means I can only...
Barry?
I'm back, I think. Internet decided to go, yep, we're gonna cut out on you for a little while.
Oh dear. Yeah, what did you hear last?
Ajax moved 2 squares and that was about it, and then that's where it cut off.
Well, he made it across, so.
Okay, in that case I'm just waiting for Roll20 to actually update and move his token.
Are you guys gonna do anything in the time I'm resting?
Yeah, I'm gonna restart, or at least rejoin the game, see if I can't get it to sync back up.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea.
Oh, there we go. Hey, he's moved from where he was. Alright, Elon will, Ajax made it across alright. That means it's solid ground. Okay, Elon will try to at least cross over. See how it goes. On the ledge, at least.
When Mikaz sees you trying to go across on your own, he says, "Stop! Wait, I can move you across safely."
You're asking me to trust something I don't trust, kid.
Not my fault if you melt in acid. And he sits back down.
Maybe you should just be ready to catch him if he falls.
Yeah, I can't do that right this second. If you want a safety net, you're gonna have to wait.
Also, I will shine my glow rod like directly on the path to try to illuminate it as much as possible to help him out if he's gonna walk across.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. I don't see him
Okay.
trusting the Force at all.
Aelund, are you gonna try and make it across?
Yes. At least I'm gonna try. We'll see what happens.
Okay. You make it to about the middle. You start. Never mind. You begin to walk across the bridge. Go ahead and make an acrobatics check.
Alright, let me find it. There it is. There we go, 21.
Yeah, you have little problem. You manage to keep your balance, keep your arms up, and just kind of lightly walk across the little bridge with little problem, little issue.
Don't worry, laddie. It's all on the wrist, and Alan will pat Paquez on the head.
He just looks at you unblinkingly as you pat him on the head.
You okay, Jack? Hey, Jack?
Hold on a second.
Please tell me you're not going to get sick in your suit.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, because I'm going to attempt to climb over this. But if you see me falling, I would welcome any assistance.
If you wait a few more seconds, I can just move you across. It's probably safer than counting on my reactions to catch you.
Yeah, hey, Jack, you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay then, because I will wait for you.
I'll
Alright,
make
it's been
a.
long enough that because you can go ahead and
Can
try
I make an
again.
aid another force check to aid him? Since I know it's coming.
What exactly do you want to do to try and aid him?
Just try to help him connect to the force and find me in it better.
Sure. I would say then, Pakaz, you can roll this check with advantage.
Okay. Come on a moment. Well, I didn't need to.
Did you get an natural? Just roll again in case you get an natural 20.
Okay, why not? And I got an natural 20.
What?
Okay. Okay. Well, Shayalu, you brace yourself for this strange little companion you've had who's been a little bit of a source of inconvenience for you and your crew. But he did manage to get Kalani across, so you figure you might be able to do it twice. You open yourself up to the Force and make it a little easier for him to find you, in addition to kind of sort of making yourself lighter. With that, Paquez, you reach out in the Force, and it's such an easy target. It's just you just grab hold of him, lift him up off the ground without even a moment's hesitation, and you gently bring him across and land him perfectly in front of you. No mishaps, no break in concentration, just a flawless execution of a telekinetic pull.
And I get all my powers back, so I don't have to wait a minute to use it again.
Thank you, Picas. That was quite skillfully done.
He
Uh,
nods.
Kalani is looking rather worriedly at Ajak.
Alright, everyone's across. Let's go. Back to the same formation we were in earlier.
I move out around here.
Is something wrong, Kalani?
I don't know, just some didn't seem to be looking so good, Ajak.
I was just an adrenaline rush from the flying over. I'm fine.
Still looking worriedly at him.
Oh, we should probably go now. Because
Can I
wanders
roll
off this way.
perception to see what Kalani's talking about?
Sure. Ajak. If you roll that enough to kind of see if you want to clue him in on some things. All right, what are you guys doing?
Ajax's gonna start moving forward with Picas.
All right.
Elon will match him stride for stride because it's time we got on.
I share a worried glance with Shiloh, but I don't know what is going on or what I can do about it. So I guess we head forward again.
Okay, I guess I will start heading towards the front of the group again. With Kalani. And I'll make a perception check to see what we see in this, presumably this hallway that we're in.
Yeah, once I try to clear my head from my worry and focus again on the surroundings, I'll do the same.
I assume we stay in this formation going forward, right?
Yeah. Let's say you guys make it all the way down to the end of the hall. So let me move you guys.
Yay, it worked.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, the wiki is really useful for this sort of stuff.
What?
Okay, so make it down the hall. Shialu, you see everything. Again, as you get
Really?
close
What
to
is
the
it with
end-
these? What is it with these nat 20s?
Yeah, you guys are all using them up now.
Y'all are.
I'm definitely not. I'm saving them, man.
Yeah, I know.
So, Shialu, there is the same door. However, it looks like there's a section of it that's been crashed and caved in. However, as you approach, what's left of the door does seem to rise and reveal another area, but you feel it shifting debris as it does this, and there's a little bit of a tremble, just slightly, and you only notice it because you're so perceptive. You just feel a slight tremble in the ground as the debris kind of shuffles and moves. Some of it falling towards you guys. I need you guys each to make an acrobatics check to try and get out of the way. Shialu, you can make it with advantage, however.
Wait a minute, did I even roll perception?
What? Yeah, you did.
I don't see
Too
it.
late
for some
now.
reason.
Wait, who?
Oh yeah, I know.
Where?
Yeah, it was really
What'd you say?
acrobatic earlier. Now, not so much.
Yeah, should I use my reroll on the acrobatics?
It's up to you.
The dice roll was a 3. My bonus is 12.
Up to you.
I think you can get better than a 3.
Yes.
Okay, everyone below 15. You see this, all these huge chunks of rock start streaming towards you. You try and get out of the way, but you just can't manage to get all the way out before something hits you. Just give me a second.
So who got hit?
Aelin, Ajak, and Pakas.
So all the ones in back?
Yeah, don't ask.
We were blocking their view, so all of a sudden we just jumped out of the way, and then their rubble came and smacked them.
Yeah.
Oi, why did y'all jump?
Two of you see it coming. You, without saying anything, duck over to the side and brace yourself against a wall as the other three kind of just. There's a little bit of confusion before rocks come to their face. I only meant to roll it once, so the first one's the only one that counts. You each take 5 points of damage.
Okay.
Yeah, kitty reflexes just said get out of there and didn't stop to think about that.
Akaz, why are you dead?
I'm not dead. Bar 1 is the one that has a little heart in it that says help. Wait, why does it say 0? Oh, never. I don't know. This is confusing. Let me put it back.
What? What?
It's like 5 points should not be the thing that takes you out. Otherwise, you're going to have real problems later on.
Oh yeah, no. I've revived.
All right.
Because looks like he
So, wait, I have
should
a
be
question.
squishy, but he's not really. What?
So does this whole thing count as one encounter, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's like 6. It took all this happened in about 6 seconds.
No, I mean like this entire building that we're in, like everything is going to count as one encounter, or does like the encounter activate once we start going turn by turn?
What do you mean?
So
There are
basically, I
things-
have this ability where I can give people hit points when someone else takes damage, and they last until the end of the encounter. So I'm wondering if I can give them the bonus hit points now, and then they'll stick around, or will they go away right now? Because we're not really in an encounter.
Yeah, there are
Yeah.
various abilities and rules that depend on encounter thing.
An
Whatever
encounter
that
is
means.
combat. Anytime you enter combat, that's an encounter or a skill challenge or anything where I say, okay, roll initiative and we need to go turn by turn. That's an
Okay.
encounter. This sort of stuff is just exploration, and it's assumed that these things are just happening simultaneously. Like you're walking around and things are just happening.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you.
But that door is now open. Actually, now that I think about it, I can just move it.
And then we'll get back up, dust himself off, see if everybody else is alright, and so let's get going.
I nod
You
and
guys okay?
keep on going. I nod again. I turn to Kalani, nod again, and keep on going.
It's all
Okay.
part of the. It's all part of the job, lass. It just comes with the territory. I'm used to it.
Bruises are bruises. So I guess we step through the door.
So, what's it like in here?
Podcast, why don't you move more towards the center?
Like this or like
A
this?
little more. You need to be a little more so I can actually see, you can actually see what you see.
Okay. There you just
There you go,
move
that's
like
fine.
right here. Oh, okay, that works.
Okay.
What?
Well, I need to move a certain amount in for her to be able to reveal enough with the radius of my light. I mean, it's probably also safe to assume that we have dim light out past the edges of my radius.
Yeah, but for this, it's okay if you guys move more in the center. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So in this room you enter, it's sort of the same bowl-shaped as the last room you were in. However, it's relatively empty, save for the rubble behind you. It looks kind of like whatever was caved into the front of that door is sort of the same in this area too. But as you get towards the edge, before you is a little bit of a peculiar scene, as there's been no signs of life at all. You see what looks to be some sort of bedroll, some sort of makeshift table out of a broken pillar of some kind, with something rectangular and mechanical sitting there, and something else sort of beeping behind the bedroll. There's a few other miscellaneous things, tools, and
Did you say mechanical?
it looks mechanical.
I bolt towards it and start examining it.
no.
Where can you ping where it is?
Which mechanical device?
Oh,
That
the
is one.
explosive bolt. That's even better. I'll go to the closest one first. And I want to examine it.
Okay. You come up to the table. That looks to be the mechanical device you look at. It looks to be a data pad.
I take the data pad.
You take it. It is blank and shut off.
How much dust is covering this stuff?
Yeah,
Can I
that's
roll
a-
perception?
It looks not much. It looks recently used.
I attempt to turn on the data pad.
I'm gonna look around for traces of activity, which we're so lacking in all the other places.
Okay. Basak, with that roll, you turn it on.
And then it
What
self-destructs.
do I see?
You see a sort of a black screen with words streaming across in Arubish. It's it just has a straight sort of bar with little dots on the bottom that say input. Kalani, you look around and there's footprints. Fairly normal looking humanoid footprints. The bedroll, while it is made, it does look as though someone's taking care of it. The food that you see on the table, while the mug itself is empty, the food is about halfway eaten. And we find a couple boxes with some more rations. You find some box of tools and whatnot. It's not by any means messy. It looks fairly organized, but it's definitely, this is all technology that you are familiar with.
Okay, what do you have there?
Where are the tracks around? Do they look like there are tracks going to and from a specific direction?
They seem to all be localized around this area, and then they sort of disappear around. Like once you leave the actual area where this like living stuff is, the dirt around it looks undisturbed.
So there's no sign of how they came here or left here.
Doesn't appear so.
I walk
Yeah,
over to this
that's-
machines and start looking at them and want to see what they are.
There's definitely something strange going on.
Okay, Paquez, go ahead and make another mechanical check on that device. On Ayland, if you'd like to check out the data pad, you may. Okay. Ayland, you look at the data pad for a little bit and you try a few kind of common mechanical passwords. They don't seem to be working. You try and look over the data pad, careful because you don't want to do anything to erase the data or have it self-destruct. But as you look over, you can't really figure out a way to reset it or enter the path or hack the device without setting something off. Paquez, you look over this console and it's not an old console. There's a little dust on it, but that's to be expected in a room like this. It's got buttons and screens enough that it would look look fairly common in a starship or some other place where consoles are used in your world. It's got sort of a display device, but it's not. It doesn't look like it's for words or information. Almost like it's more of like a detector of some kind. But it too kind of looks like it's powered down.
Can I look at the detector or find the detector that it's connected to and look at that to try and figure out what it is?
What did you guys find?
There's a
Go ahead.
console right south of me.
Well,
I'm trying to ask in character.
Oh, okay. So what do I do, Zariana?
well, I was just gonna say, with that mechanics check, I mean, you could look around. It doesn't really seem to be connected through wires to anything, except that there is a power generator, with a big black wire connecting to it. But as far as like a sort of other device it's connected to, you don't really see anything.
Is there an on button on the console?
Yeah, sure. You can notice that.
Okay, I press it.
Oh no.
Boom!
We all die.
There's a little bit of a hum, and then bright words pop up at the center of the console. Power needed.
Okay, can I go to the generator and turn it on?
You go to the generator. It takes you a second, but you manage to turn it on. You hear a revving sound as the mechanical parts begin to spin and turn. You go back to the computer, and another display screen shows up. Input needed. Ajax, do
Hear
you want to give a
noise
shot?
whistle.
Ajax, do you want to give a shot at the data pad?
No, I think seeing this turned on now, I'm gonna walk over to the large computer screen instead. How are you doing the computer rules? Because I was looking at the use computer and I was wondering how we're gonna do that.
You just roll use computer.
Well, there's different actions you do with it to try and gain access to computers. Are you doing that or not?
Well, what action would you like to use?
Well, since it's restricting access, would you consider it like an unfriendly computer, or
Yes,
rules are kind of complicated?
it would be considered unfriendly.
What did you guys find? Well, what is all this?
Okay, so apparently it's rolling against its will defense. And if it's friendly, it gets a -5 penalty to my roll.
Okay, go ahead.
What's with all the 15s?
You're having trouble. You can't really seem to get into this device. It's pretty. Now that both of you have kind of looked it over together, you kind of come to the conclusion that this device is, it's built to be encrypted and to resist hacking.
Well, I tried computer my way into the one south of me.
All right, same rules apply to you, so you'll get a -5 penalty, and you have to try and get over its will defense.
One moment. I can't use that because I can't use that ability because I need to be trained, which I'm not. But let me see if access information lets me do anything.
I think it has to be at least indifferent or possibly neutral towards you in order to access information.
Ah, yeah. Okay, so I can't do anything.
Yep, you're just looking at this like, I have no idea how to hack in the computers. Passwords are kind of it.
Well, we can at least take the data pad with us and try and get access to it later.
Do you have any ideas what these are supposed to do?
You two come over here. Try this thing. I step to the side.
Alright, I'll try what I can. The data pad's giving me harder time than I thought. I try on the console if you so desire.
And not vigorously.
Do you know what this thing is supposed to do?
hooks up to some sort of sensor thing. I don't know what sort or anything beyond that. We need access to this computer system to figure anything else out.
Would you mind guarding the door while we're working on this?
If you guys want to do it together, one of you could roll at advantage.
Wait a minute, I think I have an ability for this. Let me take a look real quick. I have it open. Let's see.
Oh, wait, since I have my own data pad, doesn't that, like, add a couple points to the roll? I think it might. I don't remember.
Let me look up data pads.
So, the room is just the round one, and there's the door we came, partial door we came through, and what is that over there? Is that another door?
No, never mind. That only this
Yep,
only applies
another
in
closed
combat.
door.
Well, was Ajax trying to hack into the council using his datapad or trying to directly hack into the council?
I think it was Ajax that said something about guarding, so I'm gonna go over to here and keep an eye on both the doors. Well, mostly the open one, but make sure that you would notice if the other one opened.
Well, I guess the first time I did it, I wasn't using my data pad, but that might actually be a better call.
You'd need a specialized data pad for that. As far as what you have, think of it as like a tablet.
If it's only the 100 credit one, then yeah, you need something better.
Bonnie, what are you looking for?
I'm keeping watch. I think it was Ajax suggested. Might have been Ayland.
No, it was me.
It
was Ajax.
Yeah, it was Ajax.
All right. So, if one of you want to try and hack that computer and you want to do it together, one of you may roll at advantage. To you, which one?
Well, since he got to it first, I'll just look over his shoulder and give him pointers as he types at the controls.
Yeah, I also, if I'm interpreting the rules right, yeah, I've got one more, a +1 over you. I have a +3 to my used computer as opposed to yours, which is a +2, it looks like. For intelligence anyway, so it's like slightly better. Well, they're above 15.
All right. You mess around a little bit with it. As you know, it's not likely that you're going to find the actual password to this device. But with the help of Ajax, you guys managed to find a sort of hijack, if you will, into the device. Going through it, you realize this device is a lot, as far as security, it's a lot more simple than the datapad, which is a little surprising, but you get into it, turn it on fully. There's still areas of it that are restricted, but the main function, you can clearly see, is it's a sort of sensor. It seems to kind of be gathering data on something. Why don't each of you make a mechanical check, just for fun, as you look over the data?
Me too, because I'm peering over their shoulders the entire time.
Yep.
I know squat about what's going on for mechanical.
The dice hate me so much.
I'm one shy of knowing everything.
All right. So Ajax and Aylan, as you look over, you very easily are able to tell that this is a sort of sensor device. It's gathering input for something. while you're able to understand the data and understand sort of what it's saying, you're not really sure what it's gathering, what data on. You, however, Pac, has, as you look kind of over the signatures and look over it, you realize that they're very similar to that of the story time, the ship that you all traveled there on, as well as a few other key buildings in the colony that you, since being a mechanic, you spent some time around fixing and helping to repair. The energy signatures and the sort of data that's being gathered, most of it pertains to buildings like that in the colony.
Does any of this stuff look like it was stuff that was on the story time before it was taken out to be used in the village?
It's not components, more like the energy signatures. So like what's how functional the story time is, as well as those other buildings. How much energy output are they giving? Things like you look a little closer to it, and it's even got sort of records of how often those buildings and the ship has been accessed, and when was the last time it was accessed, as well as a few other things. As you flip through some of the switches, you see that another section, it looks to be talking about, you can see, and actually with that roll, looking over, kind of hacking, kind of making through, again, there were some systems that were restricted, but you managed to find your way to a couple of the other non-essential ones. You gather by this after a while that somehow this thing is tapped into those sensors, the one that you repaired, the satellite you repaired. Somehow it's gathering information about a specific target, and you suspect it's the colony. And it goes beyond just the mechanical buildings and functions. There's life signatures here as well.
As he figures this stuff out, Picasso's eyes immediately turn into tiny little slits.
What is it, Picasso?
This is sensor data on the colony.
What does that mean?
Someone's watching us.
What sort of data on it?
Life signs, records of usage and access for all the buildings in the colony. It's even hooked into our sensors. Wait, to clarify, it somehow got access to like our our satellite relay thing.
Mm-hmm. The satellite you repaired, it's not enough. It's sort of piggybacking. It's not enough so that, you can infer that the reason why the others may not have figured this out beforehand, and why the satellite was still able to give data about the life form surrounding it, is somehow it hasn't turned the satellite completely to the colony. More like it's taken a little bit of an after sort of sensor. Maybe it's taken smaller, non-important sensors that most people wouldn't look at or think that much about. And it's turned all of those on the unimportant sort of non-essential sensors, and it's sort of targeted the colony. And somehow this device has managed to retrofit it in a way where it gets a lot more information than even the satellites themselves do.
So it's like I'd imagine that there's smaller sensors in the colony, keeping watch on the colony, so it's hacked into those.
Yes, it's sort of, you think about it more like it's got like whatever sort of like if it has a small camera on something, and then from that it gathers even more data than you would be able to see from looking at the actual camera looking through it. That's kind of what's going on here.
That's confusing.
So, like, if you had a picture, like if you took a picture of something and you looked at the picture and it's like, okay, that's a fine picture. This device takes that picture, enhances it in such a way that you can see even more details than you could just on the naked eye or even on the actual camera that it was taken on.
So wait, you're telling me that this is somehow higher resolution than the camera can actually record itself, or the sensors can record themselves?
Yes.
Which doesn't sound like it should be possible.
Yes, this sounds really weird and impossible. I must know how to do this. But it looks like we have some questions to ask this person. I think we should go and find them.
If
Is
they won't
this
answer, I'll try and get
the
to the
door?
data pad again.
That is a data pad. That is a door. Sorry.
Okay. We should leave the data pad till we get back to town.
Yeah.
We
You
know
can worry about
enough
it later.
here. Be safer to go through it slowly or find someone who's better equipped to get into
Yeah,
it.
I have a point of concern, but I don't know how to address it.
Voice it.
Um. It was Ajax that went with me for the fire extinguishers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just yep. So yeah, if you just want, yeah, I was actually same thought. We're on the same page, which is all the important thing that matters at this point.
Yeah. I am on that same page as well. It's just Alan doesn't know that, so he's not on the page.
Yeah.
He's not sure if the book is which book it is he needs to pick up. So
Well, I start headed towards this door.
that's
And
probably
follow.
Yeah. Alan will stash the data pad away in his jacket for later use, for your use later. It's not hackable right now, but it might be later. Particularly if he leverages a particular Rhodesian contact.
Oi.
So does the door open when we approach it?
Just give me 1 sec.
Okay.
And before we go through the door, can we take like 10-minute break?
That's what I was gonna say next.
Okay. Good idea.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
They stopped working on the roof outside, so hopefully my internet holds up all night.
Yep, hopefully.
Alright, be right back.